What's going on, guys? This is John, the Wolf of Ecom. In this video, I'm going to break down why just getting a bunch of profiles and business managers is not going to solve all your problems if you have been banned or restricted from Facebook advertising. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. So the first thing you need to be aware of when it comes to getting more profiles and why it's not going to solve all your problems, before we talk about the problems, let's first focus on where and how you get them, okay? The first reason why you don't want to just start an internet search to get new profiles is mainly because you're going to be sold BS accounts, okay? Why do I say this? Because a lot of accounts are farmed. They're machine generated, right? And what's going to happen is you're going to log in, and either on your first login attempt, you immediately are going to get a blue screen that says you're downloading your information, this account has permanently been disabled, or within a matter of days, if not weeks, you're going to find the same outcome. So getting profiles from websites, even if you go to Fiverr.com, like I had a call with the guy yesterday that bought a profile for like 20, 30, 40 bucks from something like this, and what they found was that the account just was worthless, right? It basically got killed right away. So you can see there's a bunch of ones like this. Let's see. Facebook, so this one's selling verified verified profile, okay? What I recommend you do is you tap into a circle, like I have an inner circle of paid members, and I have the best sellers that I recommend directly to them for real profiles, authentic profiles that have basically been acquired by these sellers and are being resold. And these are the best kinds of profiles because Facebook has gotten so good at detecting what profiles are real and what profiles aren't that they pretty much kill anything, whether you log into it with a good warm-up process or if you are on proxies or whatever it may be, right? On maybe even on a real phone, real device, okay? So don't waste your time buying these farmed accounts. I know there's Account Farm or So Farm, right? So that's the first thing. I just want you to be aware of that. The second thing is you're gonna run into a lot of people that will try to scam you, right? So I've heard horror stories of people finding sellers throughout Facebook groups, and it sounds like a really good deal. Maybe they buy 10 profiles for 150, 200 bucks, 300 bucks, whatever it may be, and they're getting a pretty good price per profile. But when it goes to actually getting the profiles, the Venmo or the PayPal they send to these sellers, the seller just disappears and scams them. So this is super typical. This is another reason why you want to have a network or connections and relationships with people such as myself that can make those introductions, okay? So that's a huge deal, right? You will get scammed if you are working through the process of finding someone to buy from. And I say this because this happened to me many times, okay? And I've tried this initially back in the summer of 2020, I was buying profiles through Craigslist sellers and people that literally just like wanted to make a buck in any way they could, and they were down to sell me their profile or their friend's profiles. Kind of really weird, strange experiences. I will never go through that again. Thankfully, I have some really great relationships with people that can get me the best profiles that money can buy. The next thing is that you're gonna find there's a number of services popping up that'll rent you a profile. This is gonna be anywhere from $250 US all the way up to $350 US a month. So let's say rent Facebook profile. Oh look, people are renting out. That was from 2019. That's funny. There are, let's see, rent my profiles. Buy Facebook profiles. Account Farm. So this is one where I've heard very mixed things. I don't recommend it. I recommend really just having a process for your own. It's so much better. Accounts Market, a lot of like just strange marketplaces where you might get scammed, you might get ripped off, you might not. I used to recommend sites like FB Smash you see here, and they're just selling farmed accounts, so they're pretty worthless. Yeah, so there are profile rental services. I actually tested a few. One of them I had a terrible experience with. I'm not gonna drop the name here. I'm not gonna just sell them out, even though they're a bunch of freaking scumbags, but I just wanted to see what it was like. I paid them up front, paid them like 600 bucks to get a verified business manager that was already set up, and then also the profile that would be of that $600 some, of those like $350 of it, and that would be a recurring charge, and they basically guarantee the profile and will replace it. But the thing is, if you know anything about what you're doing when it comes to scaling on Facebook, you're going to want to scale across multiple accounts, across multiple profiles, across multiple business managers and ad accounts. Is really the only way to do it, okay, based on what triggers Facebook, which we talk about in another video, so make sure to check out the rest of my videos on the channel. So this service was terrible. It took over a month to get set up. They were just basically holding my money. The second recurring charge was basically about to go through, and I hadn't gotten anywhere with the profile. I was basically just sitting there waiting, and they stopped answering me. And I messaged them a few times and told them I was gonna blast them and put them all over, Facebook groups and everything. I didn't end up doing it because I didn't want that karma on my back. I just charged it back with my credit card and just got out of the deal. Okay, so there's a lot of just shady people in this business. So I do not recommend renting profiles. What I've discovered through doing my own due diligence, through spending over $20,000 of my own money testing different methods of how to get profiles, how to create profiles, okay? But another big thing is too, absolutely do not want to get friends and family's profiles. Why? Because you're going to get grandma, for example, permanently disabled and restricted from Facebook. She might even get locked out forever and lose all of her pictures, all of her connections. Why do I say this? Because this didn't happen to me, but it happened to someone I had a call with the other week, and it was really tragic. It was really terrible. Like, I'm pretty sure that grandma is gonna remember that till the day she dies and hold that against them. So don't do that. Do not do it to granny. Don't even do it to your ex-girlfriend. Just do not get profiles from friends and family. It's not worth it. And it's actually harder to ask them. It's kind of weird. You have to explain why you can't advertise on Facebook, and maybe there is a good reason or maybe there isn't. It's just a conversation you don't want to go to have. You want people that are ready to sell these and aren't worried about security issues. A lot of your friends and family are going to be thinking, that's sketchy. Why don't you use your own Facebook to advertise? And then good luck trying to explain to them how Facebook works and how they don't help you when things do happen. So this brings me to my next point. Even if I gave you, let's say, 10 real profiles right now, and you had the login details, the access details, they weren't going to get restricted on first login. Well, the thing is, there is a whole process that I've developed to go from point of first login to, like I said, running conversion campaigns in 7 to 10 days, and it's freaking bulletproof. Will things happen? Absolutely. Some things will get disabled or restricted or have to require ID confirmation. That's inevitable, but it's pretty darn near close to perfect, okay? And a lot of people I have conversations with, they say, oh, well, just tell me where your sellers are because that's all I need. And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna do that because you're probably gonna waste my time and theirs. That's what I found to happen when I did do that. And also, you're probably gonna get things disabled, and then you're gonna be messaging me in a few days, hey, what do? I got your profiles from the guy that you recommended, and I got the profiles, not your profiles. I got the profiles from the guy you recommended, and now they're disabled, so what do I do? And this is where I'm like, well, maybe we should have had a conversation before you decided you knew everything that you needed to do, because I have these conversations every day, and it drives me nuts. I'm genuinely trying to help people, but I also can't just spend all my day DMing people back and forth, helping them, teaching them a process. That's why I do charge for this. So just so you're aware of that, I'm here to help, but don't try to take advantage of me. And the thing is, you need a solid process, a proven process. So I've developed a process step by step that shows you how to go from point A to point Z with a full army of profiles, because this is what you need to do in 2021. Whether you're doing a brand, whether you're doing e-commerce, drop shipping, doesn't matter, affiliate marketing, everyone needs this that wants to do good numbers or serious numbers on Facebook. You need a system in place. So that's what I help people do. And having a process that is structured and set up where you're not going to overlap actions that trigger Facebook, such as how and when you launch your first ad. For example, if you start with a boosted post and you do it in the right way versus a conversion campaign, that is going to make a significant difference on the likelihood of whether your ad account gets immediately disabled or your business manager gets immediately disabled or your profile gets immediately restricted. How do I know this? Because I've tested this with probably 300 to 400 profiles at this point. I know this because I've done this, okay? Another example would be adding payment methods. How do you add your payment method? When you add your payment method, these make a big difference in the outcome of whether that profile, that business manager, that ad account gets disabled, gets restricted, right? This will make a massive difference, okay? And then, of course, when and how you invite admins, right, or other employees to the business manager. All these things, these are just 3 of the examples of probably 20 to 30 things that will absolutely, or could potentially at least, trigger Facebook to disable, restrict, or do something that sucks to your account or your profile and make it worthless. So remember, you need an army, you need multiple profiles, you need multiple verified business managers. It's the only way to do this in 2021. And you need a process to run this through. That's why when I have these conversations every day with new people that DM me, hey bro, where are the profiles? How do I get them? Who's your seller? I'm not incentivized to share that, because every time I've done that in the past, pretty much everyone that did buy from my sellers would come back to me and say, hey bro, what do I do now? I'm disabled. Your seller's whack. Your seller sold me garbage. This profile is junk. But then in reality, the thing is that they're just not doing the right things with it, and they're the problem. So that's the big motivation. It was a waste of my time and energy. I don't get kickbacks or anything from recommending my sellers because they don't charge a lot, but that's just want to share that to be fully transparent with you. So please do not DM me begging me for seller contacts. Now, if you are looking for sellers, what you want to do is you want to go into any free Facebook group on the internet, and you're going to just simply search for people selling profiles or profiles for sale, or maybe make a post. There's a lot of big e-com groups. There are people good and bad in these groups. So if working with me doesn't make sense for you, that's fine. Then what I recommend you do is due diligence, test out some different sellers, see which ones are gonna give you the best price and also not rip you off and give you profiles that actually work. But of course, you need a process once you have your profiles. So that is something super important to remember and be aware of. Don't blame the seller if you get locked out or if you do something wrong. And the only way you're gonna know if you are doing something wrong or if it's the seller on the other hand, which it probably isn't, is from experience. So that's the biggest benefit that people get from working with me. I have a ton of experience just dealing with this stuff and working through it, and I understand and see and can give the feedback on what triggers Facebook to disable you, to restrict you, to ban you, and what doesn't, and what's most likely you doing something wrong. Now, the last thing is that you absolutely need multiple verified business managers. Why do you need verified business managers instead of unverified business managers? Well, first of all, unverified business managers are typically stuck at spending $50 US per day, which basically means you can get nowhere. That spend limit typically doesn't increase unless the business manager is aged and it's on a profile and was created 2 to 3 years ago, for example. So if you make a business manager today, prepare for it to be stuck at $50 a day, which means you can't really do anything with it for the most part. Now, once you verify your business manager, not only does the spend limit jump to $250, but it also unlocks additional ad accounts that have a $250 spend limit. So that takes you to $750, $1,250 US a day. Pretty significant jump versus $50 US a day. And you're also far less likely to get disabled on that business manager. And if you do, you can actually appeal it, because if you have an unverified business manager that gets disabled, there is no way to appeal it until it becomes verified. So you can kind of understand and see the problem and the difference this makes, right? So this goes back to my point with the profiles. You need a process and how you warm the business manager up. This goes hand in hand with the profiles. You see, because if you are trying to warm up a profile, get a verified business manager, start advertising day one, you're probably going to trigger things. And if you're like all the a-holes that I've just shared my sellers with, or the many of the a-holes, not all of them were a-holes, but many of them were, you're going to blame the seller and say there was something wrong with the business manager, when in all reality, the process that you followed was the problem. Meaning you were the problem. You were the reason why it didn't work. You were the reason why it got disabled. So just be aware and be prepared for that. So I hope that you're watching this video before you make the buying decision to get some profiles and BMs, okay? Whether it be through my program or working with doing your own due diligence and digging through the Facebook groups or working through referrals or whatever it may be, whatever you choose, okay? So just be aware of that. Also, there are hacks, there are tricks to verifying your own business managers. So why is that so important? Well, let me put it this way. You're gonna want at least 3 verified business managers in most cases. If you're buying verified business managers, you're probably gonna be paying on the low end $100, on the higher end maybe $150 to $200. So do the simple math on that. You're gonna be investing at least $300 to $450 or $300 to $600 in verified business managers. And if you don't have a good process, going back to what I said earlier, you're gonna probably disable those things or at least cause some kind of problems that you're not gonna understand how to fix. So this is why this stuff is so important. It's very technical, but it's also very simple at the same time. Okay, so when you understand and know how to verify your own business managers and do it in as little as 1 day, right? This is dependent on Facebook, but do it in as little as 1 day, which I have been seeing recently with the new process I've discovered for my students. Well, everything changes, okay? What you're gonna find is that you can basically get a bunch of profiles, create 1 to 2 business managers per profile. Let's say you have 10 profiles, that's 10 to 20 business managers. You submit all those business managers for verification. verification. Let's say even 50% of them clear the verification in a few days or a few weeks. That gives you 10 verified business managers that you did not need to buy. Okay, so this will save you time, energy, money, and frustration as well. So if you haven't already, make sure to check out all the awesome free resources I've shared below this video. You see, no one else is talking about this stuff. No one else is having these conversations. They're just trying to sell you agency accounts. And by the way, my opinion has slightly changed with agency accounts. I found an amazing connection. Once again, I only share these contacts with my clients, so please don't DM me begging for, hey, I just need the agency account. Because let me just say one thing real quick. The guy, gal, or the person that is like, oh, I just need an agency account, is the exact person that's going to probably not have any profiles, and when they get profiles, they're probably gonna get them all killed because they don't have a process in place, and then they're gonna be like, oh, well, these agency accounts didn't work, but in all reality, it was them. Just quick reminder of that. Okay, so my opinion has changed on agency accounts. I made an amazing connection with agency accounts that can not only whitelist domains and pages, but also they're more protected, they're less likely to get shut down, they get better CPMs, and they can give advance notice before anything gets flagged or disabled. So just super amazing, powerful stuff. Not for everyone, not necessary in most cases, but sometimes they are, and that you can literally scale to the moon with these accounts. But of course, you need a system in place. You need a bulletproof system like I've talked about here, like you've heard in my other YouTube videos. So if you haven't started on working on that already, I share a ton of great resources. Check those out in the video below this, and make sure to join my free Facebook group. And until then, I will see you in the next video. I hope this helps. I know that this stuff can be frustrating and hard, and you'll feel like TikTok is the answer. And maybe it is for some of you, but in my opinion, Facebook is still king when it comes to getting conversions and scaling and winning when it comes to anything digital and online marketing. Okay, so if you need help, feel free to reach out, shoot me a DM, or join my free Facebook group. You can reach out to me there as well. Until next video, I look forward to helping you. I look forward to serving you and continuing to provide value in these videos. And please, please, please put them to use. If you're just lurking in the background and you have no desire to work with me in the future, that's fine. Please, I really do actually enjoy getting messages from people that I don't even know that are saying, hey John, just want to say, I don't want anything from you. I just want to share, like, that video really made a difference and I'm able to scale again and produce an income. Like, that stuff's cool to me. So I don't necessarily need to get paid for everything that I do, but it's super cool when I get messages like that. So without further ado, until next time, I'll see you on the next video.